Time to go through my end of the year wrap up while I'm doing this. Quarter hoarder wheat penny challenge. I think I got 43 or 49 pennies. All wheatbacks. And for being my first year, I think I did pretty good on filling the book on the quarter hoarder challenge. Yeah, it was a fun year. I got quite a few of the first page, some of the older ones, which really made me happy. And this was all my extras. Looks like I got 44 extra wheatback pennies that were all the same years that I already have in the book. And I'll move on to the next things that I got this year. My Indian head pennies. 1905, 1905, 1905, 1903, 1896, 1899, 1906, 1906, 1892, 1891. That's one that was really tore up that I was finally able to get a date off of. And the beautiful 1866 that looks like it was dropped from the mint. It's probably one of my favorite coins so far this year. That and one other one. And we'll keep looking to see what else I got. My good nickels. I got a no date Buffalo, 1935 S Buffalo, 1918 Buffalo, 1918 Buffalo, 1915 Buffalo, and my two silvers, 1945 D and a 1943, I can't remember what that was, 1943, looks like Philadelphia. That was my good nickels. And my silver dimes for the year. I've got everywhere from 1962, 51, 49, 46, 46, 45, 45, 44, 43, 42, 42, 25, 27, 1917. This is my very first silver dime I found this year. A Barber, 1906, my Seated Liberty, 1883, and another Barber, 1908. First year of detecting, I don't think that's too bad for silver dimes. And we'll see what else we got here. My quarters, 1944, 1946, 1957, and then this one, the 1876 S Seated Liberty quarter. That goes with that 1866 Indian, is another one of my absolute favorite coins I found this year. Coins I probably never would have thought I'd ever find over here in eastern Iowa. 1852 large cent, 1837 large cent, and an 1855 3 Pfennig A. Still doing research on that one. But yeah, 2 large cents in my first year in Iowa. That just really, really amazed me. And we'll see what else we got here. My next items are some of the tokens I got this year. I got some a bar token from Bob's Tavern. Found that over in Wisconsin. Got a bar for a Guttenberg local bar token for Gene's Place. I got a Nearing Dairy Farm token. Good for 1 quart of milk. I found several of those, which I left with the farm where they belong. I found one of the Colgate tokens, which I thought was really cool. This is actually a scholarship pin for academic and for school. It should have another piece that's attached to the top. And I found this farm service token, which is pretty large. It's bigger than a 50-cent piece. And that was my tokens for my first year. My jewelry for the first year was this bracelet that I believe is silver. I couldn't find any markings on it, but it feels right. It looks right. It's got the right shine and color to it and toning to it. I found this right here. It's got the cross and Jesus on it. Found a baseball silver medallion. Junker ring. I still count rings, even though they're junkers, as ring finds. Another junker ring. I found this one is silver. It's missing the stone, which has got that really neat kind of, I guess you'd call it Art Deco design on it. Wish I would have been able to find the stone with it. The ground was kind of frozen when I dug this. I know about right where I found it, and I'm going to go back and look for the stone in the spring. This is one of my very first ring finds. A really small, tiny, I'd probably call it like a baby ring. It's got the arrows on it, a little piece of turquoise marked on the inside. Pretty neat. That was in one of my first episodes. Another little junker ring, got some stones in it, kind of cute. And an earring that's marked sterling with a little stone in it. And that was basically it for jewelry. This button, which rang up as silver, which I'm sure isn't, was actually one of my only real kind of buttons that I found this year. But I was really hoping for a flat button. That's my big bucket list. But yeah, so that's my jewelry that I found this year. Toys and toy parts. Lots of toy cars, and that wasn't all of them. I did give a few to some of the kids that were around when I was digging in some of the park areas I was at. And yeah, did plenty of toy stuff this year. 12 porcelain inserts that were still whole. Was able to get the zinc lid off from around them because they weren't broke, and I've been saving them. Don't know what I'm going to do with them someday, but I'll figure out something. And this is just some of the different odds and ends. I've got a whole bunch more. I've got buckets out in the garage. But some of the pieces I just kind of held back. We got some spoons and fork pieces, barrel tap, shoe taps, the hose spigots, lantern pieces, license plate tags, bells. I left 2 or 3 bells with different homeowners that I left with them. Tons of bullets. Just that one really neat one that I still wish I could figure out what it was. I did find this rock, and somebody had painted it up. Looks like a dinosaur, and thought it was really cool. I found that in a park underneath a tree. Lots of harmonica pieces, squeeze box reeds, some kind of topper, maybe off a stove, lots of watch parts, lots of dog tags, handle off a gun. I found quite a few pieces of broken gun, a lot of keys, knives and knife parts, range guide, some buckles, that razor piece, that really cool whistle that I did find. One of my favorite finds there. And just a lot of odds and ends. I think this is a tag off of like a key tag when you buy a new car. Back in the day, that would be on the tag. I did get a Three Merry Widows tin, some suspender pieces and buckles, buggy brake, really neat old aluminum clothespin. This piece, I am still trying to figure out what this is. It's heavy, it's brass or bronze. It was worn out. It's got a crack in it, but you can see it's really worn in the center, like something spun inside it. I was wondering if it was like a part for inside a hub, and there was like a grease hole right there for it. But really kind of neat old piece. Don't know what it is though. The brass shotgun shell. And that's about it. And like I said, I've got 2 or 3 buckets of garbage out in the garage that I've got to go through, sort, and see if it's worth recycling for next year. Anyway, that's kind of my wrap up for the year. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and wishing you all a great day. Good luck, happy hunting, and take care. Sorry for the lighting out here, but this is all stuff I saved outside that I want to try electrolysis yet. Maybe this winter or early spring. It's just a piece of an axe that was broke. Another large axe. I think this is what somebody calls, or I've heard of people call something to do with a well, like to help with an old well, like one of the rock lined ones or something. If somebody knows what that is, go ahead and help me out with that, but I want to say it has something to do with a well. This is some kind of a pin, some kind of an old cotter pin or something. I'm not sure what it is, but I want to stick that to electrolysis. Another great big old axe head. Smaller one that's broken. Half of it's busted out. Not sure. It looks like it's beveled, like it was seating for like a piece of pipe of some sort. I don't know. Some kind of big heavy cast iron watering dish, or I don't know, top of a lantern. It's awful heavy for that though. It's solid iron. And then this old pot lid, which was off from a foundation, about 15 yards, directly in the middle of the road. When I dug down to it and hit the top of it, I was like, yep, I found their stash of gold. But that's all it was there. It looks like it says something underneath there, but looking forward to sticking that to electrolysis and seeing how it cleans up and what it turns out to be. But that's some of my bigger iron that I kept. All this you see sitting on top of the tires is my latest find. It's solid copper wire. It's heavy gauge, and there is a whole bunch of it. I had to keep taking the winch off the front of the Kawasaki mule there, hooking onto bunches of it, and pulling it out of the frozen ground. It's down where they bulldozed and tore down a barn. But I know there's probably close to 10 pounds of copper there, and it's all solid copper wire. And one of my many, 25-pound salt bags or feed bags full of garbage, junk, and trash that I've got to sort through to see if there's anything worth recycling. I've got quite a few more over on the other side of the garage. That's it. This is the pile of pennies I dug that were just memorials. I'll give a count and add that to the screen and tell you how many there were, but there sure was a lot of targets there I dug. And my nickels for the year. I almost forgot to add those. Not a lot, but once I figured out how to dig them, they started coming a lot quicker. And again, all the clad dimes that I dug, and I'll give you a total on that at the end. And again, this is all the quarters I dug, just plain clad quarters, and I'll give you a total on that when I'm done also.